So, I'm going to show you guys a clip about Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders from NFL Live, something that I had showed you guys before, but I kind of gave my thoughts on this and then bunch of comments came back and it makes my head want to explode, and so people are forgetting how great and how special Jayden Daniels is, and I'll have none of it. So, I want to show you this clip and then we're going to talk about it and then we're going to go through some film. We're going to go through the divisional round playoffs against the Detroit Lions because, I received this comment and it was just, we're not going to tolerate any disrespect about Jayden Daniels right now. So, take a listen and then we're going to jump into it. Yeah, I agree with your assessment on Williams. I think the fear I would have at receiver just in general is they just don't have the top-end speed that some teams have. And so the explosiveness, things like that the offense may lack, I think there's got to be some concern with that. Look, I've said it before and I'll maintain it. I think Jayden Daniels is the closest thing to Lamar Jackson in the league in terms of his explosiveness and ability, and so, look, does it have to be perfect around him? No, it doesn't. I think he's proved that at times. I also think this though, expectations have changed. He had an outstanding rookie season and once that happened, expectations changed. We saw what happened with C.J. Stroud. Expectations changed after a great rookie season and things haven't really been the same. So, I think there's a challenge here in that he's incredibly gifted. I think that there is enough around him, but it's not the help that Baltimore eventually got Lamar, it's not that much help. I don't believe that that's what's surrounding him in Washington. And much like we were just talking about with Philadelphia, you have an extremely young, completely inexperienced play caller. And look, there could end up being some serious growing pains with that as well. So, I do think you have to be careful with a young, really talented player as the expectations change and then all the things that are going on around him. Is it really setting him up to play at the level everyone's expecting him to play at? Yeah. And so I now went on my whole rant about Jayden Daniels and how elite he is and how special and how, where he's at in his career compared to Lamar Jackson. Like the passing is not even remotely, it's like it's not even close. Like you can take Jayden Daniels' legs away and he can still become an absolute bona fide elite quarterback in the NFL because that's how gifted of a passer and processor Jayden Daniels is. Take away his legs, take away his explosiveness of that, don't even care, he will still be an awesome quarterback. And my whole thing is that Dan Quinn has not been carrying his weight. Like that has been my loudest take because I've already praised Jayden Daniels and defended the way how the last season, that's why I hate what Hasselbeck said about expectations, and it's like he was injured, the team was decimated with injuries, like the season just was never able to get off the ground. Sometimes that happens unfortunately, and that's just what happened, but to try to put this in a way through an evaluation process of Jayden is just absolute nonsense to me. And again, Dan Quinn has not he's not carried his weight yet, and I've been saying that a lot, especially recently, and people have said Dan Quinn, this team was a joke, and then Dan Quinn got there and we got to an NFC championship game, and it's like, no, that was 100% because of Jayden Daniels. No question about it. No question about it. It was honestly Jayden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury. They did an awesome job. I'm not telling you that it was perfect. I'm not saying that they should have made a change. I wasn't crazy about them moving on from Cliff Kingsbury. I understand they want Jayden to play in a different way and whatnot. And I would have liked them to been able to do that with Cliff Kingsbury, but they believe in David Blau, which is fine. They're taking a chance there. I'm optimistic, just to see how that unfolds. But the reality is that I do not think Dan Quinn has been doing a good enough job on the defensive side of the ball. And that's ultimately what you brought him here. And again, I don't want to hear about injuries or this or that. All around the league, we constantly see these teams turn around their defenses literally in a blink of the eye. Literally, there's just endless examples of this. Endless examples of this just within the last few years. Whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's the Chargers, whether it's the Broncos, whether it's the Eagles. I mean, like, it just keep going through the list. The Patriots, we could just keep going and going and going and going. And now it's been a couple years and we've have endless examples of teams getting decimated with injuries and still able to make their defense at least competent, and like we haven't really had that with the Commanders. You know, there's a few outliers here and there, but almost essentially every single time that the Commanders play a competent offense, like they dropped the ball, and especially in 2024 in that awesome season. And I kind of went through the stats and went through the numbers and showed you and been like, look what happens when they played this team and that team and this team and that team, like, you know, they gave up a lot of points. They, you know, it was the celebration, you know, it was really Jayden. And then I came across this other graphic, and you know this, the conversation that sparked from that also really irked me. I don't remember exactly what it was, and I'm not going to try to waste time trying to find it, but it was essentially like when the Commanders, you know, defense gives up like 24 or less points or whatever, they're like 12-0 at Jayden Daniels, and they're 2-12 when it's like 24 or more points. And again, I forget the exact cutoff, but it's one of those types of stats, essentially like if they give up a little bit more points, then they don't win a lot of games. And you know, if the defense can actually hang, they win a ton of games. And you know, some people tried to twist that as like, oh, Jayden needs, you know, he can't score a lot of points, or, you know, however people tried to twist it in the comment section was kind of absurd to me, but it was just what it really states is that they don't lose games. Like when you know Sean Payton famously has said that Colin always echoes a lot, and it's true. It's just like you lose more games than you win. And when you are the type of quarterback that Jayden is, what he can do with his legs, but also again I said this before, and I said this from the jump in 2024, that like Jayden Daniels is already like an elite game manager. And that's when I had to really air out my feelings about what it means to be a game manager and how important it is to be a game manager. And ever since then, I always have to emphasize so loudly that you need to be an elite game manager to be an elite quarterback. Like it's just everyone always gets so sensitive about that, and it's just like you need to be an elite game manager, and that Jayden Daniels already was that as a rookie, which I thought was extraordinary. I thought that was extraordinary because that's one of like the biggest things that we don't see with young quarterbacks, is that they can't manage a game. It's like sometimes they can do some of like the really fun. Take Lamar Jackson for instance. Like he came out like on fire and we were like, oh my gosh, have we ever seen anything like this? He wasn't good at managing games. You need to be able to manage games. You need to be able to manage games. And that's when it kind of dawned on me that like right now Jayden Daniels is doing everything. And people forget that in 2024, like he not only had an extraordinary rookie year, but he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that season. Without a shadow of a doubt. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Without a shadow of a doubt, and you know, you for sure, the big question mark then is like, okay, we'll keep doing it, right? Like that is what makes a Lamar Jackson special. That is what makes Mahomes, Josh, etc., is that they can do it year after year after year, right? Like that's really truly the mark of greatness, is your ability to do something great consistently, you know, consistently. There's plenty of other quarterbacks that can do some really awesome things, but they can't do it consistently. And therefore, they're kind of like, who are why? Oh, you as a quarterback? Kyler Murray, I've seen you dumb. I've seen you do some of the most extraordinary things, but you can't do it consistently. Right? Like, it's like, where are you right now? And so, you know, so that is up to Jayden Daniels to kind of prove that he can do it consistently, but last season was an absolute mess, so I don't care about last season, right? It's okay to sometimes just admit that. It's okay to just be like, yeah, injuries this, that, and third. It's a throwaway year. Rather than trying to be like, see, he couldn't do it again. It's like, no, that's absurd to me. But to me, the energy or the focus should be on Dan Quinn. It should be on Dan Quinn right now. Like, that's where the focus needs to be on, right? Build a defense. Make this team more competent defensively, make things easier for Jayden Daniels, at least on the defensive side of the ball. That then helps influence the offensive side of the ball. But when I see a comment like this, that was amazing how Daniels intercepted golf like 4 times in the divisional round. Like this is something I'm really passionate about, and I wish I said this a little bit earlier. We take sometimes games unfold in a certain way that we then want to absolutely minimize and erase the impact of the quarterback or of other players, you know, whatever specific conversation we're trying to have. And I literally just made a video because I've been doing this a lot recently about Jaylen Hurts. And honestly, unfortunately for Commanders fans, like one of the perfect examples of that is going to be the NFC Championship game against the Eagles and the Commanders. Like Jaylen Hurts played absolutely awesome in that game. He really did. He made some insane third and long plays, fourth down throws, using his legs for like he had an awesome game, but yes, they forced a million turnovers and Saquon Barkley rips off like a 60-plus yard run or whatever, right? All of those things happened as well, but it's done in a way to just completely erase Jaylen Hurts' contribution. Same thing in the Super Bowl as well. Like there's moments like yes, the defense played great and the Chiefs couldn't move the ball, but there were moments in that game that if Jaylen Hurts simply does not make the play, then the score stays 0-0, 7-N, you know, whatever it may be. And so it's like you still needed elite high-quality production out of your quarterback. And that's certainly what happened with Jayden Daniels every single step of the way, and especially in this divisional round. Not to mention there's no point in even going through the wild card round because again they were relied on Jayden Daniels' shoulders just non-stop. So it's just like if you have to go over that game again, I don't know what to tell you. But a game like this when it feels like the defense and the interceptions and all of that was like the defense rose to the occasion. It's like no they did not. And make no mistake about it, it was a masterclass in some of the screen passes from Cliff Kingsbury which I either led to a touchdown or a Terry McLaurin like a 75-yard run. Whatever it was crazy. I figured off top of my head, but we're going to go through it. And it was just it just dawned on me that multiple things can be true, but we keep using some of these the way how some of these games unfold in a way to minimize the production or minimize the impact of, in this instance, Jayden Daniels here, and that's how you get a comment like this, and it's just we're not doing it, man. I'm not having it. I'm not having it because it's absolute nonsense. And like I said in the last video, if Jayden Daniels played for the Chicago Bears against the Los Angeles Rams, Chicago Bears were. If Jayden Daniels plays for the Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs, the Chicago Bears win that game. There's not a single doubt in my mind. It's not to say that Caleb Williams isn't going to be great. Not to say that Caleb Williams isn't awesome. It's not to say that Caleb Williams can't become the greatest quarterback in the history of the universe. But in this moment of time, Jayden Daniels would have put them in a position to win the game without a doubt and wouldn't have needed that crazy throw just to tie it. I'm just saying Beck. Jayden's better at managing games. It's all I'm saying. Something that Caleb Williams needs to work on. If Caleb Williams can develop that, then it's game over. But he hasn't developed that. Jayden already does. But I mean in the beginning of this game after both teams got settled they both had the ball and both didn't do anything in the first drive each. Jared Goff was making mistakes. The Lions were making some mistakes, but they were torching this defense. Torching this defense with just open throws, easy completions, easy runs. It was just easy downhill running, huge lanes. It was play after play. Just easy football. Just easy. They went let me do this way. They went 71 yards, 6 plays, 19-yard pass, 15-yard run, 23-yard pass, 9-yard run, 4-yard run, 1-yard run, touchdown. It truly doesn't get any easier than that. you're just talking chunk play, chunk play, chunk play. Technically, it's like 10 or more yards is considered an explosive play or whatever the exact whether what it is. And then like 20 or more is passing is when you considered. But you can essentially see that it was essentially just big play, big play, big play, big play, right? And then the 4-yard run, the 1-yard run is because you're right, you're right there in the red zone. So it was just getting gashed, 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 gashed. And right off the bat, they're already struggling to run the ball for Jayden. And so of course the first productive run was Jayden Daniels for 4. Then he makes an 11-yard pass. Then they want to actually hand the ball off to Eckler. He goes backwards -4. And so here we're going to go through it. But he's getting set up for 3rd and long because they can't get anything going. He's got to throw a dart immediately tackled. I mean, everyone wants to talk about throws in the middle of the field these days. I mean, look at this. Look at this SE, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But it's dropped. But it's dropped. So ultimately that leads to a field goal and then there you go. Next play wide open check down and more to game handing the ball off and getting gashed and getting gashed and gashed and gashed and now this is where you get bailed out with the strip sack. There it's 3rd and 1. I mean again this was a bad play call. They were probably thinking that they're still going to go for it on 4th down, but like this is where Tom Brady started to kind of question Ben Johnson's play calling. And again, you could say, well, this is a good defensive stop, strip, sack. Come on, they got the job done. But this was also just bad football by Jared Goff because you can see the pocket is absolutely collapsing on him and he just really does nothing. I mean, like, at that point, he's got to just spit that ball out or he's got to absolutely just bear hug it and just take it and just go down, right? He doesn't really do that. He kind of freezes for a half a beat and the ball gets stripped from him. He loses it. And again, the devastating consequences cause like they've been running. It's just been gash after gash after gash after gash and it was 3rd and 1. It's not hard to imagine that they would have picked up the 1st down, but they were, like I said, they were probably going to go for it on 4th down if they didn't get it. So, they were going for a throw. That was just them getting too cute. So, again, if you want to chalk it up to the Commander defense, sure, be my guest. But, kind of getting bailed out there. And then what does Jayden do? Led 11 plays, 78 yards, touchdown drive with Cliff Kingsbury and Jayden Daniels absolutely cooking. I mean, just cooking, 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 cooking. And now this is 4th and 3. I remember this is the play that I called. I was live streaming it and I said this is what they need to do. But again, putting it on the shoulders of Jayden Daniels. I mean, it's essentially the second half. 13 minutes to go in the second half. So, obviously, they just started. Jayden's already 9 for 14, 125 yards. I don't know what he was already doing with his legs, but a bunch with his legs. And now it's 4th and 3. We're asking him to drop back and throws a seam. Boom. 1st down. And then what happens? Oh, that's right. The defense gives up another touchdown. 7 plays, 70 yards to now make it 14-10. 7-yard pass, 34-yard pass, 12-yard run, 15-yard pass. Again, it was just chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. I mean, they're literally getting 10-yard plays, 1st and 10, 1st down runs like it's nothing. Like, it's legitimately nothing. I mean, listen, this is a beautiful play design and beautiful execution by the offense, but like look how this is set up. I mean, you see all the defenders all going towards Jared Goff only to quickly be like, oh. Like, this isn't even like this is a screen pass in a way, but like it's not even executed that way because he's just able to beat everyone. Any of the main people that were going to be able to get to him were just already behind him, because they were all going all out to Jerry. So again, great play call, great execution by them, but still just like it's just an immediate we did not see this coming. And so now you're down 14-10. And so what does Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders need to do? 3 plays, 70 yards to retake the lead. 3-yard run, 9-yard pass, and a 50-yard touchdown pass. Let's take a look. Now, this is the screen pass, right? This is actually using a screen pass with blocking and whatnot. Like this is great execution of Terry McLaurin just putting on the burners, right? Reading where he needs to go. Something that Amari Cooper didn't do with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And then the way where he knows where he's supposed to go is understanding where his blockers are, where the defense is, able to squirt through and just go. And now the defense receives an absolute gift. Okay. Because again, as we know, this Lions team has been torching, okay? Torching the defense. And this is what Jared Goff does. I mean, that wasn't defense. I mean, that was just the defense just being like, I can't believe he just threw me this ball right now. I mean, it was a mile too high and a mile too long. Like Tom Brady literally groans as soon as Jared Goff lets it go. He's literally like you literally hear Tom Brady listen to Tom Brady groan. It's a little bit hard because you hear the crowd and you hear the play-by-play, but just listen to Tom Brady. Listen. It's intercepted. Oh. And so now the score is 24-14 because of the obviously incredibly easy interception. And what happens? They have their backup quarterback in now, Kerry Bridgewater. It's 1st and 15 because of a penalty. 1st and 15 because of a penalty. That doesn't matter because we'll just be able to gash there and erase that right there. And then they run some trickery that leads to like a 60-yard touchdown run for a touchdown to now make the score 24-21 in a blink of the eye. In a snap of the fingers. Okay. The Lions went 3 plays, 73 yards. 24-21. How does the offense answer back? Oh, gee, I don't know. West with their own drive that it's 70 plays, 70 yards with Jayden Daniels doing Jayden Daniels things. Okay. Yeah. And then here's 2nd and 8. Throws an absolute rocket. He picks up that first down about to get hit here and throws an absolute oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys. This is in the divisional round on the road as a rookie. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We got to look at that again. Again. About to get blown up. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. And then what happens? The defense, the Lions now the score is 31-21 and the offense marches right down the field again with another 10+ yard run, big chunk run. I mean literally the Lions were set up to score like 28+ points in the first half alone and now this is where Jared Goff just makes a terrible decision or oh, no. Never mind. They're still going. That was another easy, 10+ yards. Just a little, little pitch and catch throw. Excuse me. This is the throw. I mean, that just had no chance whatsoever. I mean, that just had no I just don't know what you think you're doing, right? Like, that is the definition of getting greedy right there. I mean, like again, you could say like it was a nice interception, but any defensive player is going to be able to make that catch. At the very least, they're going to get hands on it and it's not going to be called, but like there was just zero chance of that being calm. Plet. Zero chance. And at the bare minimum, they kick a field goal and now it's 31-24, which obviously changes things tremendously. But I mean, this ball is underthrown. Poor decision at this moment of the game. I mean, look at that. It's just you are just getting greedy in there, man. But what happens in the third quarter? Oh, the Lions 11 plays, 91 yards to cut it to 31-28. 11-yard run, 8-yard run, 15-yard penalty, 19-yard pass, 11-yard pass, 20-yard pass. Yeah. And how does Jayden answer? The score is 31-28 with his own 15-play drive, 70 yards, touchdown. Having a free rusher right at Jayden. 2nd and 9, 31 and 28 at his own 31. Immediately flushed out of the pocket. Play blown up. Doesn't matter. Gets the first down and more. 4th and 2. Absolutely crucial moment of this game. Minute 46 to go in the third quarter. 31-28, what do they do? Oh, I don't know. Just call Jayden Daniels' number. Does he get it? He does. And again, Jared Goff continues to cook honestly this defense, right? I mean, just continues to cook them. Is 38-28 10-point game fourth quarter. Still obviously within striking distance, especially considering how this offense is playing, the Lions offense that is, and how the Commanders defense is playing. And then they just do one of the worst things you could ever imagine. It's a 10-point game, 12 minutes to go. Your offense has been absolutely gashing them. It's not hard to imagine. Right now, they're at the what is that? Like the 44-yard, 46 yard line or whatever. Their own 46. It's not hard to imagine that they can go down the field and score. Okay, it's not hard to imagine that they can cut this into a one-possession game. They ask their wide receiver to just make an absolute gorgeous throw. Oh yeah, look at that baby. Look at that. Meanwhile, you have Jayden Daniels doing plays like this play gets blown up. 2nd and 5, 10 points. This is still important, right? Like 'cause again, we know playoff football. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. And of course, surprise, surprise. They need Jayden to go for it again on 4th and 2. What happens? Look at this. Hot, man beat. Essentially, he's about to have 3 rushers. Patient, composed, poised. Knows exactly where the open man is. Hits him for the first down. So, yeah. I don't want to hear it. Okay. I don't want to hear about the defense or Dan Quinn and this and that, or we're not going to downplay Jayden Daniels. We're not going to downplay his impact, because the reality is if you didn't have Jayden Daniels as your quarterback, so far this would have been a disaster. With Dan Quinn and it just would have been straight up. Okay, great. You're marginally better than what you were when you were in the absolute sewers. Congrats. It's not what it's about, man. It's not what it's about. It's about returning to greatness. It's about winning Super Bowl. It's about being competitive. And the reality is that even in year 1, if you didn't Ave J. Daniels, you weren't making the playoffs, and you certainly weren't making the NFC Championship game. You weren't winning the wild card. You weren't winning the divisional round, and you weren't getting to the NFC Championship game. It's that simple, that straightforward. So, yeah, you shouldn't apologize to have expectations. You shouldn't apologize for demanding that your team be better, that your coach be better, that your GM be better, that your players be better. Like, you shouldn't apologize. You should just be like, well, at least we got to this blah. It's like that's not how it works. It's not how it works. And like I said, we're not going to have comments like this. Oh, it was amazing how Daniels intercepted Goff like 4 times in divisional round. It's like that's not even what happened. He was intercepted only 3 times. So, you're arguing something that you don't even remember how the game unfolded. And when you actually go through it, you can see, oh yeah, Jayden needed to be special every step along the way. And that defense wasn't quite great. They were getting